The ring at the theater at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas hums with anticipation, the air thick with the scent of sweat and expectation. It's May 30th, 2025, and the crowd buzzes as BEKTEMIR MELIKUZIEV, a 29-year-old southpaw from Uzbekistan, squares off against DARIUS FULGHUM, an undefeated 28-year-old from El Paso, Texas. This is no ordinary bout. It's a WBA super middleweight title eliminator, a 12-round clash that could propel the winner toward a shot at Canelo Alvarez's crown. The stakes are high and both fighters know it. Melikuziev, with a record of 15-1 and 10 knockouts, is riding an 8-fight win streak, his only loss a brutal third-round knockout to Gabriel Rosado in 2021. Fulghum, 14-0 with 12 knockouts, is a rising star, his fists carrying an 86% knockout ratio that makes him a threat to anyone at 168 pounds. The bell rings and the fight begins. Melikuziev, nicknamed Bek the Bully, moves with purpose, his feet quick and precise, cutting angles to close the distance on the taller Fulghum. At 5'9", he's giving up 4 inches in height and likely some reach, but his southpaw, stance, and Olympic silver medalist pedigree give him an edge in ring generalship. He jabs with his right, probing, then loops a left to Fulghum's body, testing the American's resolve early. Fulghum, orthodox and rangy at 6'1", flicks out a jab, trying to keep Melikuziev at bay, but it lacks snap. The Uzbek's footwork is already disrupting Fulghum's rhythm, making it hard for him to set his feet and unleash the power that's ended 12 of his 14 fights. The crowd murmurs, sensing Melikuziev's early control. A sharp 1-2 from Melikuziev lands in the final minute of the first round, drawing a nod from the judges. Fulghum shakes it off, but his eyes are wary. Round 2 sees Melikuziev press his advantage. He's bouncing on his toes, darting in and out, his left hand finding Fulghum's midsection again. The Texan tries to counter with a right hand, but Melikuziev slips it, his head movement crisp despite a fractured nose from training camp that limited his sparring. Fulghum's punches are heavy but slow, and Melikuziev's speed is winning the exchanges. A looping left catches Fulghum on the chin and the crowd roars. Fulghum, nicknamed DFG for Destined for Greatness, doesn't flinch, but he's struggling to find his range. The chants of DFG from his supporters echo faintly, drowned out by the Uzbek's aggression. Melikuziev's confidence grows, his punches snapping with intent, though Fulghum manages a solid body shot late in the round to remind everyone he's still dangerous. By the third, Melikuziev is in a groove. He traps Fulghum along the ropes, unloading a flurry of left hands that test the American's chin. Fulghum's legs wobble briefly, but he clinches, buying time. Melikuziev's footwork is masterful, cutting off the ring and leaving Fulghum little room to maneuver. A right jab upstairs sets up another vicious left to the body, and Fulghum grimaces. The Uzbek's dominance is clear, but Fulghum's durability keeps him in the fight. He lands a glancing right hand as the round ends, a small victory in a frame Melikuziev owns. The crowd is on its feet, sensing the intensity of what's unfolding, a classic battle of skill versus power. Fulghum makes adjustments in the fourth, finally using his height advantage. He plants his feet and throws a sharp right hand that catches Melikuziev coming in. The Uzbek takes it well, but Fulghum's confidence is building. He's starting to time Melikuziev's entries, landing a counter right to the body that slows the southpaw's movement. The round is closer, with Fulghum finding some success, but Melikuziev's ring IQ keeps him ahead. He circles out of danger, resetting the fight on his terms. The judges likely score it narrowly for Melikuziev, but Fulghum's team is shouting encouragement from the corner, urging him to press the attack. The fifth round shifts the momentum. Fulghum, spurred by the DFG chants, comes alive. He catches Melikuziev with a brutal uppercut that busts the Uzbek's nose, blood trickling down his face. Melikuziev, no stranger to adversity after his training camp injuries, responds with fire. In the final 20 seconds, he lands a head-rattling left hand that snaps Fulghum's head back. The crowd erupts, split between cheers for Melikuziev's resilience and gasps at Fulghum's power. Both fighters are digging deep, and the fight is living up to its billing as a war. The round ends with both men trading in the center, neither willing to give an inch. Round 6 is a slugfest. Fulghum, now settled, targets Melikuziev's body. his right hand digging into the Uzbek's ribs. Melikuziev counters with a quick 1-2, but Fulghum's pressure is relentless. The Texan's punches are starting to land with more frequency, and Melikuziev's nose is bleeding steadily now. Still, the southpaw's movement keeps him from being overwhelmed. He lands a rare right hook that draws a smile from a ringside videographer who'd been calling for it all night. Fulghum shakes. It often fires back with a combination, but Melikuziev's defense holds VVV. Round is tight, possibly even, as both fighters show they're here to win. In the seventh, controversy strikes. Referee Thomas Taylor, frustrated by Melikuziev's holding, deducts a point after several warnings. The crowd boos, but the call stands. Fulghum seizes the moment, landing a heavy right to the body that makes Melikuziev wince. The Uzbek, aware the fight might be slipping, fights back with urgency. He lands a crisp left hand that snaps Fulghum's head back, but the deduction looms large. The round ends with Fulghum gaining ground, his corner urging him to keep the pressure on. Melikuziev's team, meanwhile, is shouting for him to stay disciplined and avoid further penalties. The eighth round brings more drama. An accidental head clash leaves Melikuziev with swelling under his left eye, adding to his battered appearance. He fights through it, landing a crushing left hand that staggers Fulghum. The Texan counters with a right hand at center ring, and the two trade blows in a furious exchange. Melikuziev's footwork saves him again, allowing him to bounce out of range and reset. The round is another close one, with both fighters showing heart and skill. The crowd is electric, knowing they're witnessing something special, a fight. That could go either way. Fulghum takes control in the ninth, outworking Melikuziev with body shots that slow the Uzbek's movement. Melikuziev responds with a left hand. But Fulghum's pressure is relentless. He lands a two-punch combination upstairs, and Melikuziev's legs buckle slightly. The southpaw fights back, landing a right hook that surprises Fulghum, but the Texans' momentum carries the round. The judges likely score it for Fulghum, and the fight feels razor close. Melikuziev's corner is urging him to pick up the pace, knowing the scorecards could be tight. The 10th sees Melikuziev regain momentum. After another warning for holding, he disciplines himself and lands a 1-2 that buckles Fulghum's knees. The Uzbek stays on the attack, his left hand finding a home on Fulghum's chin. The Texan fights back, but Melikuziev's speed and angles are winning the exchanges. The round ends with Melikuziev in control, and the crowd senses the fight is hanging in the balance. Both fighters are fatigued, but their will is unbroken, each believing they can pull ahead. Round 11 is a war of attrition. Both men trade heavy shots, their faces marked by the battle. Melikuziev lands a vicious left. Fulghum answers with a right, and the two stumble, exhausted, falling to the canvas after losing their footing. The crowd roars, knowing the fight is building to a climax. Neither man can land the knockout blow, but the intensity is unrelenting. The round ends with both fighters gasping for air, their corners shouting instructions as the final round looms. In the 12th, Melikuziev delivers the defining moment. 20 seconds in, he lands a sneaky left hand that drops Fulghum. The Texan, off balance, tumbles into the ropes but rises quickly, unhurt. Melikuziev presses, looking to finish, but Fulghum survives, firing back with desperation. The final minute is a blur of punches, both men leaving everything in the ring. As the bell sounds, the crowd is on its feet chanting for both fighters in a fight that's lived up to the hype. The judges' scorecards are read: 114-112, 114-112, 114-112, all for Melikuziev. The unanimous decision sparks cheers and groans, the tight scores reflecting the back-and-forth battle. CompuBox stats show Melikuziev landed 170 of 442 punches, Fulghum 169 of 407, a near-dead heat. Melikuziev's knockdown and point deduction were the difference, earning him the WBA mandatory challenger spot. This was a tough fight, Melikuziev says post-fight, bloodied but triumphant. I fought through injuries and I proved I'm ready for the title. Fulghum, gracious in defeat, vows to return stronger. The fight cements Melikuziev as a contender, his resilience and skill overcoming Fulghum's power and heart. For Golden Boy Promotions, it's a win-win. Melikuziev, moves closer to Canelo, while Fulgham's stock rises despite the loss. The super middleweight division, already stacked with names like Caleb Plant and Christian Mbili, just got hotter. As the crowd files out of Virgin Hotels, the buzz lingers. A classic fight, a new chapter written, and a promise of more to come.